Good, so just make sure everyone's got their ball and a band. No one's moving, so I presume everyone's got everything they need. Good stuff. Right, we'll just leave the ball to the side. Just as we do a little bit of a warm up. So we'll start standing up, feet hip width apart, nice and grounded through balls and heels as normal. Nice soft bend in our knee. We'll just use our arms, nice breath in. Breathing in, lifting our arms up and then breathing out. Arms coming back down. Just think about drawing that belly button in as you breathe in and lift up nice and tall through your spine. Lovely. No movement in our legs or pelvis, just our arms. Good stuff. 2 or 3 more, just getting everything oxygenated. Lovely. Last couple. Breathing in, drawing that belly button in. Good, and last one. Fabulous, right, let's shift our weight over to our right leg. Let's get those glute muscles firing, warming up. Draw that belly button in. We're going to lift our left knee up. Hands on hips as that just gives us a little bit of feedback as to what we're doing with our pelvis here. So left hip we're working and the right hip, but the left hip is going to drop down towards the ground and lift up towards our shoulders. So we've done this before. So really working the right glute here, making sure we're squeezing all the way through the movement. So our hip doesn't then shift out to the side. We're staying nice and tall, right from our right ankle to our right hip, right shoulder even. Good. This is a nice slow movement, controlled. So you're really controlling your pelvis. Quite important in the seat. Also, you want to control our movements. Good. Couple more on this side. Try not to lift your knee up as you lift your hip up. Good, last one. Good. Left leg back down. Give that a shake out if you need. Good. Engage that core, lift the right leg up. Soft bend in our left knee. Now the right hip's dropping down and up. And we're squeezing through those left side, those left glutes. Keep that nice straightness, tall feeling through the left ankle up to our left shoulder. And of course, breathing with our movement always helps. Good. Try and make this quite tricky to keep the knee where it is as the pelvis moves. So try not to lift the knee up as the pelvis comes up. Try and keep the knee really still. Lovely. Squeeze it through that left side. Couple more. Good, and last one. Fabulous, pop that right leg back down. Let's take a little bit of a wide stance. Nice little squat down here. I'll turn the side on so you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes you do this on the ball on nice pelvic tilts. Hands as if we're holding the reins. Shoulders over hips, over ankles. Nice breath in, tucking our tailbone under. Coming back to that neutral in our back. And as we breathe out, breathing in, tucking under. Lovely. Squeeze into the glutes as you tuck under with the pelvis. but not moving our shoulders, staying relaxed through the shoulders. If there's any bit of little tightness in the shoulders, because you're pulling your shoulders back towards each other, so the shoulder blades, the muscles around the shoulder blades. Good. Lovely, just a few more, just getting those deep core activated. Really helps for the exercises we're going to do. Lovely, still staying relaxed through the shoulders. Last couple. And last one. Good stuff. Right, bring our legs together so they're hip width apart. Place all your weight through the right leg. Nice soft bend. Left leg is just hanging there on its toes. So for this one, we're just going to lean forward slightly, keeping that nice neutral on the back. Hands on hips if you like, or hands out in front. Now this left leg, draw that belly button in. It's going to slide backwards and then slide forward to meet the heel. So here we're really squeezing through that right glute, pushing the knee towards the outside. So as I bring the left leg back, my right knee doesn't fall inwards, it still stays in a nice straight alignment. If sliding's pretty easy, lift that left foot up. So it's hovering off the ground, so you really have to work through that right leg to keep your balance. Control the pelvis, so we're not dropping through that left side. Good. Breathing out, extending the leg. Breathing in, as it slides back towards the other heel. Good. 3 more. 2. And 1. Lovely. Coming back into standing, shake that right leg out. Worked quite hard. Onto my left leg now. Again, nice soft bend, leaning forward, keeping that neutral in the lower back. Draw that belly button in. Sliding the right leg backwards. Squeeze into the left glute this time. Making sure as we extend back, the left knee doesn't draw towards the middle. Stay towards the outside. Breathing in as the leg comes in, breathing out. So extend it backwards. And like the other side, if it's easy, hover that right leg off the floor. Good. Now we're just leaning forward. I know some of you are more dressage orientated, but leaning forward just makes us use those back muscles all around the spine. And they're quite important to give us that stability. Good, 2 more. Keep breathing. And 1. Lovely. Coming back up into standing, shake that left leg out. Again, I'll just turn side on so you can see what we're doing. Feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to squat down just slightly, bringing our arms up so that 90 degrees are parallel with the floor. From here, as we lift our left heel off the ground, our right arm comes up. You can't quite see that. I'll try and squat a bit lower. Right heel comes up, left arm comes up. So we're doing the opposite arm, opposite leg. But really think about your position of your pelvis. Are you keeping your neutral spine? As you lift your heel up, are you hitching through your hip, or is it staying level? Good. And time the breathing with your movement as always. Good, just make sure as you're squatting, your knees don't go over your toes. So you don't end up falling forward, falling forward. Weight sinks even through balls and heels. Lovely. Good, we'll do 2 more on each side. And 1 more. Feeling a burn in your quads? I know. Lovely, coming back into standing. Good, let's grab our ball. Just stretch that out slightly, so fingertips on top of the ball, feet hip width apart. Let's walk the ball out in front of us, hinge at the hips. Stretching forward. Using the ball just to roll and stretch through your lats. Rock back and forth. Toes, heels if you like. So that feels quite good. Controlling your breathing, so slow that breathing rate down. Lovely. Breathing in, breathing out. Lovely, a few more seconds. Good, and let's just roll the ball back towards us. Slowly coming into standing. Good, keeping your feet where they are. Fingertips once more on the ball. Rolling forward, hinging at our hips, but we're not going fully out into that stretch. Just allow a little bit of bend between on your shoulders. So you can see I'm not fully stretched out. Got a little bit of bend here just to give us a little bit of support. So keep that belly button tucked around your spine. Nice breath in. As you breathe out, you will shift a little bit to the left, but we're going to bring that right leg up and back down again. Then you're going to alternate. Good. Now as you do this, I don't want you to lift that hip up, whichever side you do. So say your right side, don't lift that right hip up towards the ceiling. Try and keep your pelvis parallel to the ground, so the hip bones, those bony points, are pointing towards the ground all the time. And try and keep that nice lightness on the ball. As soon as you start to put lots of weight through the ball, you'll end up wobbling everywhere. So really try and use those legs, so strong legs, strong core, to stabilise yourself. Almost using the ball just to prop your hands up. Breathing out, extending the leg, squeezing through the glute. Good. Try not to shift your pelvis too far over to the left or the right. There will be a little bit of a shift just to control your centre of balance, but good. We'll do 2 more on each leg. Trying to keep that neutral in your spine. Just have a little think where you're looking. Are you looking down at your legs? Are you looking at the ball? Are you looking ahead? Try and just look over the top of the ball. And really feel what your body's doing. Good, last one. Lovely. Roll the ball back towards you, coming up into standing. and then let's sit on the ball. Good, so grab your bands. Right, so feet hip width apart. We're going to tie the band around the tops of our knees. Now see, the tighter you do it, the harder it is. The exercise is going to be. Lovely. Good, so think about our position as we do on the ball, so shoulders over hips, nice neutral spine. Good. Hands as if we're holding the reins. I think we're all at a point now, we've worked quite hard over these last few weeks, over lockdown. We can draw that belly button in and lift our foot 1 inch off the ground and back down. Now we've got an added extra onto this, the band. So try and keep that resistance on the band all the way through the movement. So if you lift your left leg up, that left glute's going to have to work against the band to stop your knee falling inwards. Good. And think about your position as well. As you lift your leg up, are you really sliding over to your right seat bone, or are they level? Try and keep that nice evenness through the sit bones. And if you need to make this movement or this exercise really slow, just to control what your body's doing, don't be afraid to do that. This is the time to work on your riding, and then it'll transfer over into your actual riding. Good. Keep that breathing with the movement. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping that resistance on the band. Good. Keeping your feet hip width apart. Just do a couple more on each leg. Stay relaxed through your shoulders. Good. One more. Lovely. And just a little break there, but keep the band around your legs. We've got it for one more exercise. Good. Relax those shoulders down. Just be aware of what your shoulders do, especially through these exercises. If you find it hard, you might find you tensing up through your shoulders, clamping in with your shoulders. Try and keep it nice and relaxed. So again, feet hip width apart. Instead of just lifting the foot up and down this time, we're going to lift the foot up and then slightly out to the side. So almost really working through that glute to bring the leg outwards, back in and back down again. So we're just adding a little bit of movement. Thinking about evenness through your sit bones. Squeezing through both glutes. Both your bum muscles are working hard on this one. One to stabilise yourself. One to make the movement, bring your leg out to the side. Keep that belly band tucked in. Good, and again, just if you need to make this movement, this exercise as slow as possible, just to make sure you're firing the correct muscles, you're not compensating. Lovely. One more each side. And last one. And back down. Lovely. Right, just untie the band from around your legs. pop it on the floor next to you because we're going to need it soon, but we're going to come off the ball just temporarily and bring the ball in front of us. And we're going to go and sit astride. So the ball comes in front, wrap your legs round on top of the ball. Make sure you can tuck your toes behind you so you get that nice shoulder, hip, knee alignment here. Fabulous. Good. So hands just relax in front. Obviously they're going to be relaxed through your shoulders. Draw that belly button in and work through those adductors. So squeezing the ball as you breathe out, breathing in, relaxing. Now as you relax, try and just feel a little bit, imagining the saddle, and just try and feel a little bit deeper. So tensing as we breathe out, breathing in, relaxing through your hips, sitting a little bit deeper on the ball. Good. So it just tells your body the difference between it contracting, tensing up and relaxing, which will be important in these next couple of exercises. Especially as you're a novice rider, you're often really tight through here to gain that stability. Lovely. Breathing out, still staying tall through your spine. Lovely. You are really getting that nice squeeze, evenness. Good, 2 more. And 1. And just make sure you relax. Really switch off those inner thigh muscles. You're getting that stability instead of through here, through your core. Good, so we're going to bring our arms out in front of us. Keeping that neutral, switching off through those inner thigh muscles. Nice breath in as we breathe out. We're going to look round with a nice spinal rotation, bringing our arm back as far as possible, bringing it to centre, and then the opposite side. Staying tall through your spine, drawing that belly button in. Keeping those inner thigh muscles switched off. Sitting nice and deep in the saddle, on your ball. But keeping that good posture. Lovely. And almost trying to look at your hands so you get a nice rotation all the way through your spine, up to your neck. Lovely. And just notice the difference between each side. Are you getting around evenly? Or are you a bit tighter on one side compared to the other? Keep drawing that belly button in. Switching off through the inner thighs. Sitting deep on the ball. Lovely. We'll do 1 more each side. And last one. Lovely. Right, bring our arms down, little break for our arms. We need our band for the next one. So if you need to get off and grab your band, by all means do. And then come back down into the same position. I'll just wait a second till you're all there. Good, so we're going to hold the band just over shoulder width apart. Now you can hold the band towards the middle makes it harder. Holding the band further away towards the ends makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to bring our hands up above our head. And again, switching off those inner thigh muscles, sitting nice and deep, drawing through that belly button. We're going to fix with our left arm, right arm's going to come down. As we breathe out, breathing in, the right arm comes back up, and then we'll just switch sides. Good. So you might feel that your pelvis or your body is trying to make little small adjustments to keep you nice and stable on the ball. That's absolutely fine, as long as you're not starting to tense up through those inner thigh muscles. Sit deep, use your core to stabilise yourself. Trust your core as well. Good, finding that neutral as well in your spine. Don't start to arch through the back, that's another compensation. Another little trick you'll find. So tuck your tailbone under slightly if you find you're arching through your back. And really try and fixate that arm, so that arm that's holding the band, that's not moving, is not moving at all. Isn't even coming up towards the head. Good, really control that movement back up, so your arm doesn't go fling up. Really controlling the movement. Good. Lovely. Couple more each side. Just getting those lats working, quite important up in the saddle. Good. Lovely. Bring your arms back down. Hold the bend because you need it for the next exercise, but we're going to come off our astride sitting, but we'll come into sitting with our legs out in front. Good. We're going to pop, I know you can't quite see on the camera there, but we're going to pop the band underneath the balls of our feet. And with our legs just slightly straighter than normal. Good. So imagine you're holding the bands at each end, holding the reins even. So we get a little bit of resistance, so we have to work a little bit through those biceps to keep our arms up. Sit nice and even through both sit bones, even weight through both feet. And we're just going to do some nice pulls here, so really activating around our shoulder blades. So nice breath in, pulling your shoulder blades together, almost pulling a little bit against the resistance of the band. I'll just turn side on so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Now I'm not compensating, not moving anything in my lower back. Breathing out, just pinch shoulder blades together, breathing in. As we just release. Good. Even through sit bones, just those shoulder blades moving along with our arms. Good. And our head's not moving as well. Head staying where it is. I'm not poking my head out as I pull my shoulder blades back together. Good. Breathing in, arms coming forward, breathing out, so pinch shoulder blades together. Lovely. Couple more. And last one, before you just vary it slightly. Good. So just turn to face towards you. Keep the band where it is. Lovely. So instead of just moving our arms, we're going to move our whole body or above our pelvis. Legs stay nice and firm on the ground. Good, nice breath in. We're going to twist our shoulders, lead from the shoulder, round to the side, pinching that shoulder blade as well. Round to the left, pinching the left shoulder blade in, almost pulling against the band and back in. Now think about what the opposite arm's doing as well. Is it staying where it is? Is it controlling that outside rein? Or are you just letting it go? Try and keep that resistance on the band that's not moving exactly the same, rather than letting it go or even pulling it further towards you. And again, let's think about our head as well. Where are we looking as we go around? Are you looking towards the ground? Are you looking at eye level all the way around? Try and keep that eye level line. Just puts our body in a better position. So if I start looking down, you can already see my neck's moving downwards and it will compensate down through the rest of our spine. Good. Not losing that neutral, keep drawing that belly button in slightly. Good. Breathing out, going round, breathing in towards the middle. Just a couple more each side. Really controlling the movement. Keeping that shoulder blade pinched. And last one. Good stuff. Right, let's take the band off. Pop it to the side. We're going to come off the ball. I've got my challenge for this week. A nice challenge, or challenge for today. We'll have a challenge on Thursday, don't worry. So, roll the ball with our fingertips on top. Roll the ball forward, feet hip width apart. Sorry, I should have said at the start. Rolling the ball forward just slightly, hinging at your hips now. Almost at the position where we were extending that leg backwards. But from here we're going to go onto our toes. We're going to bring our hips down as well into our plank position. So you really have to use your shoulders, your core to come up into that plank. Good. And from here it's just about awareness. So we're on our toes, but don't keep your bum really high, otherwise you're not really using your core. Don't bring your bum too low, otherwise you're really arching through your back, it's not good. Want that nice levelness. Holding it for 2 or 3 seconds and coming back up. Or a bit longer if it's easy. Hold it for a bit longer. Now, if that's a challenging enough, keep with that. I do, as always, have an added advanced level. Good, so you're coming into your plank. We're going to drop that left hip towards the ground, back up to the plank, right hip towards the ground, back up to the plank, and back up again. So you're really having to use your core to allow a little bit of movement, but also give you that stability, very much like what we need in the saddle. Lovely. Keeping your breathing going as well. Don't let yourself hold your breath. That's nice, Joe. Good, Tina. Nice. If it's easier, bend with your hands just slightly face towards the outside of the ball. If that's easier on your wrists. Jess has got lots of help. Nice, Bex. If you can add in those hip drops as well. Nice. Yes, Mark. How's your shoulder on this one, Trudy? Good, let's just do a couple more.
Yeah, it gets my stomach.
Yeah,
actually.
good. As long as it's not straining your shoulder, perfect.
No.
Nice. One more, because I know it's quite hard to do the shoulders, hard to do the wrists. If it's a little bit harder, you can always turn your hands out slightly. Lovely. Good, coming back up. That's a nice one for you to do at home. You practice a little bit, all of these challenges. Good. So fingertips on top of the ball, let's just roll out and stretch out feet. Let's go shoulder width apart with our feet. Hinge at your hips. Stretching the ball out right in front of us. Rocking back and forth on your toes and your heels. You might get a slight bit of hamstring stretch with this one. We'll go a little bit deeper into that stretch, a little bit more in a minute. And just stretch up through your back a little bit more. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Lovely, and just keep that position, keep that hinging, but just walk your feet outwards slightly. You might be able to find you get a little bit further. But as you rock backwards, you might find a nicer stretch through your hamstrings. Lovely. Good, and walk the ball back in towards you. And walk our feet inwards. Good stuff. Right, let's come into sitting on the ball for this stretch. Get your balance going as well. Sit by yourself if you're going to find this hard. It might give you, just hold something as you cross your leg over. Let's get a nice stretch through the glute. It's worked quite hard today. So once you're in that position, leaning forward on to cross-legged. The leg that's crossed even. Good, and from here you can just rock back and forth. And as you lean forward, as you roll forward onto that toe, onto the foot, you just find a little bit of a deeper stretch. And if it's nice, if you can hold that balance and keep it there, by all means do. Good. Keeping that nice breathing going, so breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, really controlling, slowing it down. Lovely, coming back up with our chest. Switching legs. And again, leaning forward on the leg that's crossed. Rocking back and forth if you like, holding that position, holding the stretch. Whatever feels good. And you might find a difference between each side. One might be a little bit tighter, a little less flexible. which is perfect because you've got Thursday, you've got hips, abilities and strength. So I work quite hard on our flexibility through the hips. Good. Lovely, bringing our chest up, uncrossing our legs. Let's come into standing, pop the ball to the side. Let's come down onto our knees into kneeling. Let's get a nice stretch through our hips. So let's bring one, we'll set our left foot forward. Hands on the floor, next to our left foot. Just let the hip drop down towards the ground. You can always put that right toe up instead of flat on the ground, just to give you a little bit more of a stretch through the hip flexors. Or if you're really feeling flexible, grab that right foot, holding that stretch, but that's quite intense. You can always use your band actually. Loop your foot around your band if you can't quite hold your foot. And use that. So you can really vary it. It's quite an intense stretch, but it's so good for you. Different levels there, you can adapt which level suits you, depending on how flexible you are. Good. Breathing out, just trying to relax into that stretch a little bit more. Good. Coming out of that stretch, unlooping the band if you've got the band, or good. Let's swing the left leg behind us, swing the right foot in front. So just switching sides. And either just letting your hips fall down towards the floor, opening up through, lifting that left toe on the floor. You can either hold the band, loop the band around your foot, or hold your foot, depending on. If you can hold your foot, I'll be quite impressed. Yeah, just using the band again, if you like, depends. If you find it a big stretch with your toe on the floor, keep with that. Lovely. Breathing out, letting that tension go. Nasty but nice. Good stretch, this one. Lovely, and relax. Letting go of the band, popping your right leg behind you. Hands in front, just tuck your toes together, widen your knees, and stretch off through our lats. Sinking our weight over our heels into our child's pose. Head on the floor. And your hips just sink further down through your heels. Lovely, coming back up. Let's just stretch those lats off. We've worked quite hard today. Bringing our hands over to the left side, sinking your weight back down over your heels. So emphasise a little bit through that right side. Again, just let your heels, let your hips even, sink over your heels. Relax them a little bit further as you breathe out. Really slowing your breathing back down. And just controlling it in a nice pattern. Good. Bringing ourselves back up, and then we'll switch over to the right side, stretching that left lat, sinking your heels. Can't get my words out. Sinking your hips over your heels. Yeah, just enjoying that nice stretch. Fabulous. Bring yourself back up, back to the middle, and back over your heels. Well done, everyone.